Alright, y'all. Hey, this is Jeremy from Driving Well, and this is the first time I've ever made one of these type of videos. Because first of all, I'm not a guitar player, for real. I play bass in my band. Hack around on guitar some and write. Maybe. Try to. No melodies, just riffs and chords. Lyrics, but... Anyway, like I learned the Rain song. I've been hanging out with some friends at, various intervals and like reconnected with the joy of just playing music with my friends for the fun of playing music. And one of my friends was like, play the Rain song. And this was a couple years ago. And I was like, yeah, right. It's like 30 chords or something. It's not. You're just daunted because it's so long and it's got like these sections. But the first thing was finding the right tuning. And I was in, I think because the song is in the key of OpenG7sus4, I tuned my guitar to an OpenG7sus4 chord. And I made some leeway in doing it and playing the song, the Rain song. But it wasn't very intuitive, and there was some weird fingers and stuff, and it just didn't click. Again, I'm not really a guitar player, so if I don't grasp it immediately, I lose interest quickly. That's why they stuck in the bass. But I actually stumbled onto, oh wait, this is the right tuning. And the fingerings are real intuitive. So this is the springtime of my loving. And so I looked up the lyrics, but then I also wanted to look at a transcription and get the chords, to really nail down some of the points of the song. And there's nothing on the internet. It's all wrong. And then I stumbled onto this one, and it's acousticguitarforum.com, and this person, and he had to do the same thing. What I Googled was the notes, and I was like, what tuning is this? And it's actually G-sus4, but this person doesn't know it. They don't even establish that in this thread. He says, good songs in D, G, C, G, C, D, which is this tuning. And he goes, hey, I'm just learning the Rain song, and it's in this tuning. I don't know what this tuning is called. Since I have this guitar in this tuning for now, anyone have any other great songs in this tuning would love to learn a few more, just looking for suggestions. I'm intermediate and can play well in most styles from flat pick and fingerstyle, thanks. And Udon Joe is like, this defines a D7sus4, so it's D7sus4. Subcategory, extended alternate tuning open. However, it's commonly referred to as OpenPage after its creator, Jimmy Page. I've combed the internet, and as far as I can tell, Rain Song is the only song in this tuning. There's some other people to say, yeah, there's one band that does these two songs in that tuning, but I've never heard of them, and I've heard of some band called the Tea Party uses it on a song called Winter Solstice and on some of Sister Awake. But other than that, there's nothing bullshit. Sorry to say it like that, but... So, when Jimmy Page wrote the Rain song, it came out of a conversation that George Harrison had with John Bonham. George Harrison told John Bonham, Led Zeppelin, you guys are great, but you're just heavy all the time. You don't play any ballads. There's no shade or anything. And Bonzo told Jimmy Page that, and Jimmy Page was like, really? No ballads, huh? Can't write a ballad? I got a ballad for George Harrison, so he does the Rain song. He goes, this is the springtime of my loving, the second season. I'm to know. So, the first chords in that song are something in the way she moves attracts me like no other lover. So, well, you can play something in this tuning. But when it comes to Zeppelin, we've got this. It is springtime of my loving. And all these fingerings are in just this two note. So I'm sitting here, and the same thing. I'm like, what else can I play in this tuning? The womankind smoke the stuff and drink all my wine. Made up my mind, I'm gonna make a new start. Go to California with an aching in my heart. So, okay, Going to California is in that tuning. That's the tuning Page used to play that song in the studio. He also used that live. During this acoustic sections on the 77 tour, if you listen, he goes from, I forget what song, like Brummer Stomp, I think, and Going to California and Black Country Woman were all, he played them in this tuning. I thought they were open G. I thought Black Country Woman, and maybe on the record it's an open G, but because Page already had his guitar tuned to that, you can hear on like 427-77 Cleveland, aka Destroyer 426. They played 2 nights, so probably both shows. The acoustic section, he's just bam, 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 goes right from one to the other, and I'm just like, so you got to go in the California thing, and then, you know, I was just sitting outside the other night, and I'm like, what else is in the standing? And I just said, you know, I've been playing, I wrote a song for my band, Driving Wheel, in it, and I also, later on I'll show you one of our older songs that I've transposed, not even transposed, I just play it in this tuning now. But I just hit this chord. So no quarters in that tuning, too. I cannot believe in the internet and with a million guitar players, and I'm like fucking, you know, 75% of them have to be better than me, or like have more time to devote to this and have a better, more trained ear, because I'm like kind of a hack, really. You know, I just beat on it, you know, and I come up with songs or whatever, but I'm like nobody's idea of a prodigy or anything. Like both the other guitar players in Driving Wheel are way better than I am. But like these things were kind of obvious to me in my ear, like in the train the ear. And then even like with the Going to California thing, almost, you know, Pearl Jam made it to the ocean, had a smoke in a tree, the exact same chords as Going to California in the verses. Fly! There, that's that chord. But yeah, like I haven't even worked it out, but it's that easy to sound these songs out because, I mean, in this open tuning, they're kind of obvious. And like I said, I've just started leaving this guitar in that tuning, and it's almost kind of become my de facto standard for picking up a guitar. Like I wrote like a pretty cool riff. Like I'm pretty much, it's a song, but you know, Ryan will tear it apart and he'll put a melody to it, and then we can put some lyrics on it and get Adam and everybody involved, and it will like become a real song once they get their hands on it. I just supply the raw materials, but like this tuning makes it easy. Being able to play major. It's just all right there, you know. Minor is too. You know, there's just so much. So like one of our songs, and I'll put a link to it in the comments or whatever. It's called 30 Miles to Houston. Let's tune this thing up. Oh, real quick, just so everybody knows too, the tuning that we're talking about, and like I said, it's the first time I've done this, so I should have done this off the top. You got a G, they're all D, G, C's. I think that's it. D, G's, and C's. So we got D, G, and it's the first C, and then you got another G, and then another C, and these other two, and another D. So that's how, you tune it like that, and that triad interval is different than, like, say, in OpenG or OpenA or in standard, because there's all kind of, even though in OpenA it's up a step. In OpenG, standard, and OpenA all have that same triad interval on those 3 strings, but here it's a different different interval. So, like, I don't know, it's just really cool.
Standing at the station a year ago today, I hustled up a ticket.
Oops.
I hopped aboard a train. Well, I'm 30 miles to Houston, 20 years in an hour away.
Skip to the bridge.
Just outside of Brookshire, seems my luck right now. I wanted to get my description through the book and through the way to keep it.
So anyway, you get the point. All kinds of songs in this one. You got the Rain song. You got Going to California. You got Given to Fly. You've got Something. Even though George Harrison didn't record Something in this tuning, like, you can play it in this tuning, really easy. Also, 30 Miles to Houston by Driving Wheel can be played very, very easy in this tuning. In fact, this is probably the preferred way to play that song on guitar without slide, because Ryan recorded it in it's like an OpenC tuning, like a minor, OpenC minor, and he plays slide on it, the riffs on slide, and it's kind of hard to approximate that, like, the slippery slidiness of it without playing it on slide and playing it in that open tuning, so you can get all that minor stuff in the open. But like here, when I fret it, like, all those minor chords are just there. It's like it opens so much up. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a guitar player, so maybe, I'm mansplaining this stuff, and maybe this is all stuff that everybody knows, but the fact that I couldn't find it on the internet, and one of the top acoustic guitar forums on the internet said, "Oh, Rain Song's the only song in that tuning." I'm like, no, I'm sure other ones are.
Oh, baby.
All right, so I could probably go through a bunch of Zeppelin songs and find out which ones are, in here. But so can you. So can any other guitar player. You just use your ear and just start playing in it. Tune it to this tuning. Like, the cool, really, it's, you can play bluesy in it. You got the. So you got all that stuff right there. You can get real modal with it, and, like, kind of, Jimmy Page obviously loves Eastern music and sitar, and, like, I'm really partial to that shit myself. So you've got it in D. So you can do that, or in G. So whether the sitar's tuned to D or G, In fact, the Rain song, it's pretty much all in G, and even the A chord with the, where you hit that, has that open G ringing, so the sitar can drone along with it. not a guitar player.
Springtime, the second season, I'm too. You are the sunlight in my growing, so little wrong I felt before.
You gotta pull off on that one. And then you got that whole. And that's pretty much the bulk of the song. I've got this really cool pedal called a Mel 9. I should have hooked it up. By the way, if you don't have any BMF effects, Driving Wheel has to deal with these bad ones. And you know what? They really are. These are about to go on my bass pedal board. This is my clean boost to drive the tubes, and this is to give me a little bit of crunch. So, they work great for guitar. They work great for bass. Talking about maybe even some other things in the works with Scott, who's an amazing person. Go to bmffx.com, and I'd buy one of everything. The Liquid Sky. I'll do a rig rundown on my guitar and bass rigs at some point, and we'll probably do one for Ryan's and Adam's shit too. But yeah, I've got a lot of BMF effects on both my guitar pedal boards and both my bass pedal boards. I have a big bass board for recording and big shows, and then I have a little bass board. It's just got like a tuner, a DI, a compressor, and a chorus, you know, just for rehearsal and for jamming, and, you know, just to grab and go. Like my flight pedal board. And I have the same thing for guitar, even though I'm not a real guitar player. I do have guitar pedal boards for recording, one board for recording, and one like just to bring over to friends' houses to jam and stuff, just whenever I'm gonna be jamming on guitar. But anyway, yeah, BMF Effects, check them out. I appreciate y'all taking the time. It's the first time I've ever done anything like this. Leave your comments below. Hit subscribe to Driving Wheel. Like I said, we'll do rig rundowns. We'll do a couple more, just little hacks. Like we're not like. I'm not the kind of guy to give lessons, and, you know, Ryan probably isn't going to sit down and do that either. You know, I can't speak for Adam. But, you know, there was a void when I looked on the internet, and I found that so many people were saying, yeah, this is the only song in this tuning. I've been messing around with it for a couple weeks, and I'm, like, coming up with all kinds of stuff, and I'm inspired by it, and I'm playing a bunch of them. So, you know, do the same. Let your ears be your guide, and, you know, you're only limited by your imagination and what you're open to hearing. And like I hear all the Zeppelin songs, and I'm hearing new songs that I'm writing, and, you know, I send it over to Ryan. He goes, wow, it sounds awesome. It sounds like a Crows song. And like that's the hugest compliment in the world. But like I was confident enough in it to send it to him, so that says something in and of itself. This tuning makes me want to pick the guitar up more. And I've been having to play more bass because we're obviously getting ready to do some more stuff like with me on bass. So I've got to get my muscle memory up on that. But like, you know, going back and forth between bass and then grabbing this thing, it's like, it's almost it's just such a different vibe, you know, that I'm in love with them both again, you know, and that's a great place to be. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, appreciate y'all taking the time. Be safe, you know, and we'll see you next time.